That's rolling. Cool. Soundboard. All right. Let's just let's get this over with. Wait.
Hello and welcome to The Worst Movie Ever Made, an experimental movie podcast designed with one thing in mind, to find the worst movie ever made. I'm your host, Chris Hockman. I'm joined by my co-host and fellow mad scientist, Rob Scucci and Bob Hasek. Hey guys, how are you? And why are we doing this?
I'm presently at a loss for words to describe something that was just uneventful and untantalizing. The antithesis of titillating. So we're gonna work through this and talk about the Adventures of Pluto Nash, but I don't have much to say because it didn't resonate with me at all. Bob?
Yeah, if anyone in our listening audience actually sat through this, especially for this episode, we owe it to you to make something funny out of it.
Yeah, no kidding. I think we can do that. I have a lot of material, surprisingly.
Good.
Yeah, for the little bit of material they gave us, I was able to generate a lot of hate.
Yes, good.
So let's throw it to YouTube comments first.
Okay. I loved this as a kid. I remember when it came out. That is such a great descriptive comment. It doesn't look that bad from the trailer. Next comment. It's actually a masterpiece. It just took us 20 years to realize it's spelt wrong with an S. This movie is the best. Me and my family got tickets for 4 adults and 1 child to see Pluto Nash in 3D. This is a meme of sorts because the next comment is 4 adults and 1 child to see Pluto Nash in 3D. I don't know if it's but there's a whole thing on Reddit about like seeing Pluto Nash in 3D with 4 adults and 1 child. And this is my favorite comment I'm saving for last. Imagine this being the first movie someone watched and decided to never watch another movie ever again.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a great one.
That's accurate.
It's very accurate.
All right, test number 1, the worst of its kind.
Yep. Is this film the best of the worst or the worst of its kind?
Okay, because we had mentioned it last week, I thought it was only fitting to throw Bowfinger in the mix with Steve Martin and Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
We announced last week, I think that was an 81% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, I confused that. There's a Chris Rock scene where he calls Sesame Street NWP, and I thought that was the end of Bowfinger, but it was Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
Got you.
Yeah.
81's a heavy hitter to start. Joe versus the Volcano with Tom Hanks.
Oh.
I've seen clips of that, and I know it's like a cult favorite, but I haven't seen it in its entirety.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like Tom Hanks a lot, though, so I've seen most every movie he's done. I probably ride a little hard for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a cult favorite to hate. It was really panned.
Okay.
And
it's got a really cheap shark sequence.
Okay. I can see hating Splash.
Yes.
But Joe was not bad. 64% there.
All right. Fair enough.
Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo. I did Pluto Nash.
Fucking love that movie.
Okay, well I did The Adventures of Pluto Nash a favor by picking that one with Rob Schneider. A 22%.
How did it get picked up for a sequel then, if it did that poorly?
People just like raunch. At least back then they did.
I like the guy TJ just in the hot tub always eating something and it's just dripping into the tub.
Yeah, and the guy with the pencil dick. Too,
I've got a thin dick. Yeah.
The first Police Academy came up with Kim Cattrall. 57 there.
All right.
So, I mean, we've got some movies that are packing punches, but nothing like knockout status, really. I guess Bowfinger. Yeah. And then I also chose Coming to America because I just wanted to talk about how much I actually love that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one.
That's fair.
Yeah. I wrote down that Arsenio Hall is in that because it's obvious that Eddie Murphy's in it. So just to give him some love, 73% there.
Okay.
If you haven't seen it, you should. I think it might be Eddie Murphy's best movie. I don't know.
I haven't seen it as like an adult who would get all the subtext. I saw like most of these movies we talked about off air, Comedy Central daytime while I'm doing my homework and like half paying attention. So like,
sure,
yeah. So I got to give it a watch.
It's got some cheese. I won't lie.
Okay.
Oh, appropriate.
But it's good. There's something very rewatchable about it.
All right.
The
Agreed.
second one though, do not watch Coming to America.
To America, yeah.
I couldn't make it through it.
Wow.
Average of a 59.4%. What do you guys think Pluto Nash was able to grab off of Rotten Tomatoes?
5.
20.
Bob on the money. You get a $100 bill. It's
nice.
a 5.
I didn't even cheat.
yeah. And
I,
then the 50.
I figured it was 0 actually.
Well, good hedging because you got it right on the money.
Yeah.
54.4% in the negative and worst of its kind. No surprise. We're going to get into it after we have a little limerick section again in Ain't That a Pitch, test number 2.
I got an idea for a movie, and here's my pitch. I get a job and quit my band if you stop being a bitch.
Ain't that a bitch?
It's been a while since I went first, so I'm just gonna get it out of the way.
Go.
Because I think both yours is gonna be better than mine, but I just want to get out of the way. All right. There once was a man named Bezos who had a cameo in this movie as Quaid, though. Beep, beep, boop, boop, bop, said the Animatron. They revealed Murphy's clone in the promos.
Did they? That sucks.
Yeah. I found that out when I was looking for the comments. He's in the trailer. The chair turns around and he's fucking...
That's totally lame.
Yeah.
That way to ruin your own material.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, who goes next?
I'll go, I guess. There once was a nightclub owner who was also an unaware appendix donor. Randy Quaid is a robot. Rosario is so hot. And Pluto tries to get a drunken boner.
Yeah, he does. All right, mine's a little different.
Okay.
To be a robot is to be a slave, a bodyguard who don't get paid. But hey, there's pros. Just get an adapter hose, and you can bang the robot maid.
That's a toss-up. I'm gonna go with Bob 4.
I'll go with the Bob 4 too. I like that a lot.
All right.
Bob 4. Perfect.
4.
Okay. Yes, 4.
Perfect.
Okay. Cool. We'll see how that stacks up against our current season champion Cats when we get to the end.
Cats is good. I can't wait till we get back to like 8 more seasons and we do the bracket and Cat just demolishes fucking everything.
Everything. Although, I mean, this movie has some fight left in it for sure.
Oh yeah.
As will be evidenced by the number of lines that I had to pick through for test number 3, the worst dialogue.
Dialogue. Some bullshit. Right.
All right, I'm going to start light. This is more logic defying dialogue more than it is terrible dialogue, but sometimes chronological in my assessment of the dialogue as well, unfortunately. Right. Starting toward the beginning when we're in Pluto's nightclub, Club Pluto, right?
Yep.
He is talking to 2 patrons behind the bar, getting sloshed, and he says, "You guys had better pace yourselves. It's only 10 o'clock. It's not like it's a bachelor party." And one of the 2 guys says, "Yeah, it is. He's getting divorced tomorrow." So Pluto says, "Really? You know what? Drinks on the house the rest of the night. Congratulations." That is not a responsible bar owner. He was trying to do that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's like, no, you guys got to cool it. And then all of a sudden he's like, get fucking hammered on me.
Yeah. You've already been overserved, and that's why this exchange is happening in the first place. But hey,
Exactly.
you're also getting divorced, which is probably its own headache that you want to drink more for. And now I'm not even going to cut you off, and it's free.
And he probably has a hover car waiting outside.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like they have self-driving vehicles in 2080 yet. So
No.
yeah, so that one bugged me just because of its lack of logic. It went for funny because he's getting a divorce, and that's a bachelor party in a sense.
Yeah.
Right.
But nah, not very funny.
No.
Number 9, Dina. That's Rosario Dawson, Bob's girl. We're learning. She's explaining to Pluto that she has just gotten to the club from Earth. She's an Earthling.
Yeah.
She said, I just made my way from Salt Lake City. And Pluto says, rough town. Dina says, yeah, I know. The old, really hilarious switcheroo on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Really
one
hilarious.
landed really flat, like a salty lake.
No.
Like that joke I just made. Number 8, this is Bruno, the robot. So the context is what's funny here, not the line. But they are trying to escape apartment or hotel room 3D. And they go to the neighboring room. They bust through the door, and there's a robot maid sweeping around the hotel room. I don't know. We'll have to talk about whether or not the robot maid is employed by the hotel or or just someone who's in their hotel room cleaning. I don't really know. But Pluto says to Bruno, go check the windows, see if we can escape that way. Yeah. Bruno gets distracted again by that hot,
feather duster ass.
Yeah. And he goes up to her and he's like, model DRLED4. Very nice. And then, and he makes his way over to the window to assess the situation. They can't jump out the window. That's what we learned.
I just realized something. They're in room 3D, 3 adults, 4.
Damn you. That was coming up later.
Oh, shit. My bad.
No,
I'm dumb for not.
Check the bingo card.
Yep, got it.
All right, let's send it to our first clip.
Okay.
This is number 7. It's called Clones.
Really need your help. I got to get to Rex Crater.
Forget it. Nobody gets to him.
Who the hell is this guy?
A myth. An enigma. He lives in a penthouse above the Lunar Grand Hotel. Never comes out.
Ron, you was a cop for 20 years. You gotta have some kind of idea who he is.
Some people think he's a clone. There was a clone doctor named Runa Pedankin. Made a big name for herself creating an entire basketball team from one old guy.
The Air Jordans.
Yeah. Right after cloning was outlawed back Earth, Pedankin came up here. She was the best in her field until she got herself murdered. This was about 8 years ago.
You know what? I'm gonna need to hack into police files.
You mean you need me to hack into police files?
Thought you'd never ask.
Pedankin Runa, initiate global search.
Yeah. So there's a lot of obvious expository dialogue in this movie.
Yeah.
Explaining the plot that is already obvious.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And of course the Air Jordan joke.
Yeah.
Why was that such a joke in movies?
Because he was the fucking GOAT. And he had, I don't know, people like shoes. People like knowing that the shoe that they're talking about in the movie exists at the store that they can go buy the shoe. It's just, yeah.
I was thinking back, Rob, if you go way back into our archives, we did Wild Wild West.
Yeah.
If you remember the part where they it's Kevin Kline and Will Smith and they're on Kevin Kline's flying machine. Yeah. But his character's name is
Gordon with a G.
So Will Smith is like, I bet you're gonna call this your flying anti-gravity manipulating air filter or something, you know, and he's like, actually, I was just gonna call it Air Gordon. Yeah. Okay, so I was able to successfully pull out another example of a movie that makes the Air Jordan joke. I just don't understand. It's not funny there. It's not funny now. No. It's not been funny in any example that I've ever heard. It's just a reference to Michael Jordan and the popular culture.
I think it's just commercialism because in iRobot, when they point out Will Smith's Chuck Taylor high tops, he's like, yeah, they're vintage 2005s, like implying that they exist in real life and you could buy them in the present year.
Is it possible?
Fair.
Is it possible it's product placement, like paid?
Yeah,
Probably.
I suppose it is.
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's 2002. I think he might have been a member of the Washington Bullets at this point.
Oh, okay.
Oh no,
Yeah, you-
no, Washington Wizards. They might have changed
Yeah.
their name from Bullets to Wizards.
Oh, yeah.
Huh.
I don't know. Anyway, number 6, Dina. That's Bob's girl.
Bob's girl. It's going the right.
Very interesting help you have around here in regards to the maid who is helping clean up the like industrial mining dome that they have as a hideout, right?
Yeah.
And Pluto says, "Oh, that's just an old program I forgot to delete. Left it on. Oops."
Yep.
Because the maid like drops her duster and then bends over so that you can what? Look, or do you? And do you need? If you're the owner of the robot, do you need an adapter for your junk? Because anyway,
there's
I
a
imagine,
documentary I want to recommend to everybody called Guys and Dolls. It's about the real doll fandom, and that
Okay.
might have an answer to this question.
could be. Can the real doll also clean your house?
No, you have to clean them quite a bit, actually.
It irritated the nerd in me was irritated that he called it software
Yeah.
after a while, because software is not physical.
Yeah.
Right. And they should have gone with the hardware pun anyway, right?
They should have done something.
You know,
If they're going for like slightly raunchy, they should have thrown that in there too.
You know, it took me until I was like 27 years old to realize that it's called a soft drink because it's not a hard drink.
Number 5.
Moving on.
Pluto. Pluto says, initiate search convicted organized crime Earthlings initials MZM when he realizes that Rosario Dawson's character is right. The initials are upside down in the briefcase or whatever.
Yeah.
So late. Anyway, there is only one person on Earth who is convicted of a crime with those initials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
I guess so.
Organized.
What the fuck? Yeah, organized crime, I suppose.
Still. I thought the same thing. Like one result. Even on
In
Law
the
and Order.
history of Earth.
Even on Law and Order, they look up like, a very specific name, and it's like 8 results.
Yeah, right. And then they know
on this block. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. and one of them has a mint Buick Skylark convertible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Number 4. This is the announcer for Tony Francis. Maybe overhyping him just a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, the undisputed master of the universe, Tony Francis. I thought that was Dolph Lundgren. Am I wrong?
It's just he's just a lounge act. Like, who gives a shit?
A really shitty one.
Yeah, no kidding. Not even that good. All right, next clip. This one's called The Reveal.
Or as I pointed out, based on YouTube, this should be called The Trailer.
What's going on
Yeah.
here?
Remember when they cut your appendix out 8 years ago in prison?
Yeah.
Gambling had just been outlawed on Earth, so my old boss, Mike Marucci, commissioned Dr. Runa Padankin to create a clone of someone who knew the way around the moon.
For what?
Marucci was starting a gambling operation up here. He needed someone to front for him. Someone intelligent that he could control. A puppet.
Yeah, and being a puppet didn't really jive with my career plan, so I decided to send Mr. Marucci and Dr. Patankin into orbit. And for sentimental reasons, or maybe it's because I'm such a nice guy, I let you live. Till you got in my way. Now let's face it, why should I keep you around, huh? For what? I got your good looks, got your charm and your wit. I even got your memories. You got my memories? Oh, yeah, I got your memories. You never wondered how my people knew to look for you in that old hideout of yours? Or the Paradise Motel, which, by the way, is a disgusting establishment. Surprised you didn't break out in a horrible rash after staying there.
Ugh.
Yeah.
More expository. This is just, why is Eddie Murphy in my movie again?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, this is why. because we took part of your kidney to clone you because they wanted someone trustworthy. So we would make an Eddie Murphy baby and then accelerate its lifespan like a clone from Star Wars. And
I don't want to
turn it
say
into the
too
perfect
much.
mob boss.
I don't want to say too much now, but there had to have been a contractual reason Eddie Murphy did this.
Yeah, maybe.
I didn't find anything, but
Yeah.
I'm not revealing anything because I didn't find anything.
Yeah.
But how many times movies? I have to do a count that Eddie Murphy played multiple roles in the same movie.
Nutty Professor.
Coming to America.
Coming to America. Bowfinger.
Yep.
Coming to America.
The Nutty Professor sequel.
I mean, it's a smart business move because if you're like the 8 top billed actors, do you get 8 salaries? How does that work?
Good question.
I don't really know. He probably just cashed huge checks for those performances, multiple performances. I don't know how it works, but I don't. It can be admired for his work in The Nutty Professor because he actually does play different characters at least.
Yeah.
And Coming to America, he played so many.
Yeah, and he does a pretty good job of playing different voices and different makeup looks, and
the fact that he's on screen by himself interacting with like I guess placeholders that were also played by him and having like the rapport. Yeah.
He's cornered that whole market basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Arsenio did it in Coming to America too, and he did pretty well.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
But anyway, I don't really understand all that.
Yeah.
All right, number 2, and this is going to come up again because this scene really bothered me.
Okay.
Pluto says to Tony, "You married twins, huh?" Tony says, "No, they're not twins. I met the perfect woman, and I had her cloned." And then Dina says, "Which one's which?" And Tony says, "Who cares?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you guess what test this might reappear on?
Yeah. This is like the boomer like I hate my wife like vibe.
Yes.
Are they boomers or are they Gen X? Doesn't matter really, but like there's that mentality of like I hate my wife, and it's a through line in this generation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was not laughing because the line is funny. I was laughing because what a concept. Like what a gross, dumb concept that they thought would play for laughs, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Drum roll, please. Meteor resistant.
Code generator serial number 874-3508.
Sure.
Okay.
Look, I know it's none of my business, but why don't we just rent a car instead of stealing one?
But you can't rent these.
Well, what's so special about it?
This happens to be a Chrysler DeSoto S5000. It cruises on a 14-inch cushion of air, hikes up to 64 inches in rough terrain. It's heat-resistant, meteor-resistant, with torque compressor power thrust, and a kick-ass sound system. Trust me on this one. Bruno, I'm gonna need an ignition chip. This might do the trick. Oh, yeah, it's gonna work perfect.
Oh, you gotta love a place where your bodyguard and car have interchangeable parts.
Smart ass. After you.
What was wrong with that?
I feel like I'm gonna be a broken record if I go into my diatribe about everything that's wrong with that.
Yeah.
I named it meteor resistant just so that you would focus in on that part of the his monologue about what's so nice about the Chrysler DeSoto.
Yeah.
Can one of you explain to me what it means to be meteor resistant?
I think it's like water resistant. Means like you could wear your like watch or timepiece or smart device, and, like in the rain and get a little wet, you're fine. But like if you do like a high dive in the pool or like shower with it, it might not fare well. So maybe like if it gets like sprinkled by meteors, but if it's like a direct hit, you're fucked.
Okay, so then that begs the question: can you launch off of the moon with this car?
No, you only have like a 14-inch cushion, right?
Right.
Right.
I don't know.
64,
Yeah.
technically.
60, oh yeah.
So if a meteor strikes the moon
Yeah.
and destroys the town you're in,
Yeah.
your car might be all right.
No, it'd probably be completely crushed by the meteor, Chris.
Well, it's more resistant than other cars.
Well, yes, that's true.
Maybe you
There
can
you go.
climb in it like Indiana Jones does the refrigerator in Temple of the Crystal Skull or whatever.
It didn't make sense.
That was almost my choice for this week.
Oh, no kidding. I mean, I'm down to watch that because I love that movie franchise.
Yeah.
But anyway, then Randy Quaid's like, "Oh, I'm just going to open my head and give you a chip that starts the car."
That's exactly the chip you need
Mm-hmm.
without
Yeah.
having known this ahead of time. Yeah.
Okay, so there's just a taste for what we're dealing with. If you haven't watched this movie yet, you really should. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's
That's
fucking
number
great.
4, the worst production.
Ah.
The worst production. The worst production. Put your Holly to work. The worst production. The worst production. Make my steaming go berserk.
Yeah.
Great script is what I'm calling it.
Okay. Cool.
And this is a fact. This is not a no fact. This is a fact. So
Okay.
Eddie Murphy signed on to do this film after a few other people were considered. And by the way, this film was written in 1983.
Wow.
And then pitched and failed until eventually came to light. And Eddie Murphy signed on to do the film, and he kept rejecting the scripts because the dialogue made his character too silly. And he wanted to be a straight character. He's like, no, I don't want to be a funny character. I want to be a serious character with, basically with bravado and I don't know.
Like Han Solo. He wanted to be like a Han Solo.
Basically,
Yeah.
But he wanted his character to be scripted straight, no real comedic lines, and then he said he would, quote, bring the funny.
All right.
And and honestly, the director actually said something along the lines of Murphy must not have been feeling very funny during filming.
Oh my god, that's fucking awesome.
Like that Joe Petliano, or whatever, what's his name? The guy that
Joey Pantoliano.
yeah. He was quoted saying, usually when you're doing a movie, you can't tell it's shitty, but this one you could.
Yeah.
like while filming. But
Yeah, I mean, and he was in Daredevil.
But I think, Chris, you have a good point in saying there was so many lines to choose from because the script just sucked. It was a horrible script. And because they played it straight with very little jokes, especially for the lead jokey, comedic actor, it just failed. It completely failed.
Yeah.
So we're to take away that a lot of the funny lines were his improv.
Yes.
Okay.
Or, well, he didn't have. I didn't go back, but I kind of rewatched it a little bit when making the trailer and realized that he didn't have as many funny lines as other actors were given. Like, I think we were supposed to laugh at Bruno more than we did.
Yeah.
We were definitely supposed to laugh at Bruno. He did have a lot of like one-liner lines, but they never hit for me. And then the guy, I wish I knew the actor's name because you see him sometimes. The guy that plays Tony Francis.
It's Jay Moore.
That's
Yeah.
Jay Moore. You're right.
Yeah.
I think he was supposed to be funny too.
He's good for
so.
the dry. He's really good for like dry, deadpan stuff, and he didn't get enough screen time to actually do that.
Yeah, what they gave him, he didn't knock out of the park either. But that's because test number 4, the worst production this week, is great script. Because they did not have a fucking great script. It was as bad as possible.
It was straight script.
Straight.
Straight?
Oh,
Straight. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wrote that.
I also thought you were saying great facetiously. So
No. It was.
So did I.
It was straight because that's the word they used to describe what they wanted. What Eddie Murphy
Eddie's
wanted.
character.
So
Yeah.
So the reason it's worse production is because they had, as far as I can tell, a funnier script to go with, and the director really wanted that funnier script, and the director lost.
So, like, if Eddie Murphy just made it slapstick and like went through the motions, it'd probably be better.
It probably.
I bet it would have been. It still would have been the kind of like, let's look back at Eddie Murphy's movies and kind of groan, because while he was funny, it was exploiting that teenage adolescent humor. You know?
Yeah,
it was. And Eddie Murphy had enough clout back then to do that, and he wasted it.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, speaking of wasting, I don't want to waste any more time before we get to Rob's ad read.
All right, give me 1 second to pull this up. Okay. Today's episode of The Worst Movie Ever Made is brought to you by the treat that's taking the nation by storm. Baby butthole pops. Do you find yourself craving something salty, sweet, and just a little nutty? Well, then you're in for a treat. Baby butthole... I'm told by the producers I can't finish this ad read.
I was really worried about where it was going, so get on that. Just a little nutty.
Moving on.
Okay, test number 5, the most offensive, Rob. Good touch.
Don't call me faggot, Jew.
Eric, did you just say the F word?
Jew? No, he's talking about you.
Kyle!
What?
Eric!
Dude, you just said it again.
Stanley! Kenny!
What's the big deal? It doesn't hurt anybody.
Right.
All right, so here's another trope joke.
Okay.
That, I found offensive. The kilt dress jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We did this in Lionheart. The guy that's going to fight JCVD is wearing a kilt, and they make jokes about how he looks like a girl or whatever. Pluto Nash is making fun of Tony Francis or Antonio Franchicelli or whatever his name is for wearing a kilt.
Yep.
And it's just lame, and it's not funny.
Nope.
All right. I don't, I saw that you voted today, Bob. I don't need to know your politics. I don't want to know politics, but Trump Realty was a sign up on the side of the highway there. And
it was.
It's just something that doesn't age very well. So
that was definitely a paid spot. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay. The sex maid and the really Randy robot. Emphasis on Randy.
Mm-hmm.
So Randy Quaid's robot character actually follows her and smacks her on the ass. I don't know how to feel about something that's not technically sentient smacking another thing that's not technically sentient on the face or on the ass, especially when the maid turns and smacks the other non-sentient robot thing in the face for doing so. I don't know how to feel about it, but I don't feel good.
It's tough because we have a different perspective on like AI and robotics in present year than we did back then. I think.
Explore that a little for me.
Like, all right, so I mean, like they were talking about like sentience with like like Bicentennial Man, like he's learning emotions and stuff. But, a lot of times, like it's more like Bender from Futurama. It's like, they run on alcohol and we're programmed to do these things, and I guess it doesn't really work either way because they are self-aware, but also they're it was in a weird spot in robotics and entertainment. I guess I'm trying to say.
Okay,
a little bit, but
somewhere in between. Go ahead.
Go to the design of the robots though. There's a taste situation right there. I mean, look at the two female robots, so to speak, compared to all the male robots you saw that were just big, square-shouldered behemoths, and no skin showing, and then the female robots were the quite opposite.
French maids.
Yeah, clearly.
So there goes your
patriarchy.
That's bad taste right there.
Agree.
Yeah.
Okay, sexy bot's suit stripped by space.
Okay.
So she's holding on for dear sentience, and the vacuum of space rips off the rest of her clothes, which we're supposed to be turned on by, even though she's a robot with presumably very firm breasts, which we men don't like.
Yes. Bags of sand.
Yes. All right, number 5. Bruno's battery baton.
Yeah.
I hope you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Oh, when he got jump started.
He got jump started.
Yeah.
He was brought to attention very quickly.
Yeah.
Hey, how about Carefree companion cloning? So Tony Francis decides that he's got the perfect woman and he wants to clone her. And she's like, all right, this is where I wanted to explore the second worst line of dialogue in our test number 3 this week. Is how do you feel about a woman giving up her part of her kidney, I assume, because that's how we heard they can make clones in this movie.
Yeah.
So that her celebrity husband can make another one of her, so similar to her, so like her, that she has to hear herself talk while she talks because they say the same thing at the same time. And then she has to watch herself bang her husband while she bangs her husband. At least she gets to share responsibility for making food.
I think we don't know enough, Chris, because it doesn't seem like she was coerced. And now there's 2 of her. If she really was unhappy in the marriage, they could double team him, tie him up, leave him for dead. So I'd say she was a willing participant at some level.
Well, we're not saying she was coerced. We're just saying what an unhappy existence.
I mean, she seemed into it. Like that's what I'm saying is like we don't know what we don't know, you know.
Well, this is a catch-all thing, but how do you clone someone and have them end up the same age?
Right. That's
future.
Do they have to hyper age them?
Future
cloning.
Yeah, they Clone Wars the shit out of them. Star Wars Episode 2. They put him through the fast aging program and teach him how to be a mob boss or a good wife. And there are probably preset programs for that for clones.
Yeah,
who really are just humans.
Those are the 2 programs: mob boss and good wife.
Good wife, willing to be equal partners with other you.
I'm thinking of the meme where it's the 2 red buttons and the guy's like sweating and he's like wiping his.
Yeah, right.
I'm picturing a future sitcom where they get those mixed up.
Yeah. Oh man, that sounds awesome.
She fucks up cooking the eggs, just pulls the gun out and just fucking shoots the oven. Good stuff.
That's sick. Okay, do you guys? We have a clip, but I wanted to ask you guys for mentions before we throw into the clip for most offensive.
No, I think we're good.
I feel like there had to be more, but I guess if I think of one later, I'll bring it up.
Yeah. Okay, well, here's the clip. It's offensive in its own right. This one's called Flow.
Let's start with some of the basic body types. Here's one I think you're really gonna like: the Amazon.
Oh no, I don't like that. That makes me look like a big doofus, doesn't it, honey?
Hey, where would we buy clothes?
Yeah, I don't want to be the big doofus.
Good point. Let me try again. Oh, this one I'm particularly proud of: the Venice Beach.
Hey, wait a minute now. Oh, now I think you done found something there. Look at that, honey. Oh, yeah, look at that. Look at me.
This is me?
It could be.
Well, you know, honey, I'm looking and I'm thinking that you need to rethink the ass enhancement. It'll work. It'll help out. It'll bring out that little, what you want is to have, you know? She also needs a little more of this, too. Up top, can you fix this? If you could spruce these up a little. Just a little sprucier. I know that she has ample now, but I mean, I'm talking titties galore. Let's have titties really flowing. Yeah, like that. Oh, yes.
Hey!
Look at that.
Hey!
Oh, yeah.
Why don't we step into my office and we'll discuss the term?
To quote Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, if you can't be with the one you love, then love the one you're with.
I mean, you saw the clip, people. If you haven't, joined our YouTube channel so that you can. That way you don't have to watch this movie. You can just see what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, he said he wants titties galore. So you probably heard how offensive this was. They start off with the quote-unquote Amazon, which is them very, very tall. And that's where I will end the speculation. And then the Venice Beach is very muscly. Them. Oh, the Pluto isn't happy with just the muscles. He needs there to be like Kardashian ass. And what was her name? Nicole.
Anna Nicole Smith.
Anna Nicole
Titties.
Smith. Thank you. Yeah, boobs. Nice, dude. You got that from the NIC. Very, very nice of them. Just super. I guess they didn't expect to have much of a female audience for the Adventures of Pluto Nash. I don't know what female audience would have enjoyed that.
No, and I think that should count for like 3 offensive
military wives.
Yeah, I yeah, or cloned wives might enjoy that too.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna give that a 3 offensive.
Okay.
And we're gonna throw to test number 6. Some more clips coming at you. The worst acting.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever feel like we should switch that to the dialogue bumper next season?
It'd probably make a lot of sense if we did that.
All right, first clip of test number 6, the worst acting. This one's Tony Francis.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Mr. Tony Francis? Ah! Oh my God, it's Tony Francis! Oh my!
How's showbiz?
Yeah.
Did David Spade do a voiceover for that part?
Yeah.
What?
I'm trying to think if there's any aggressive paddling scenes where you just hear like in Senseless.
It's Shiloh, not Guy Blow. All right, number 2. This one's called Cash.
Gentlemen.
Bruno, the boys.
Looks like you're about due for a trade-in, Mr. Nash. Hey, Bruno. What are you, 65?
Model 63. Deluxe.
63? Talk about ancients.
Your sister didn't seem to mind.
Screw you, robot! Hey! He can be fixed. You can't.
Look, we don't mean to cause any problems here.
All right, well, he's reaching, you know?
Okay, no reaching. Mr. Nash, this is non-negotiable. Rex Crater is buying your club.
Yeah, I was wondering when y'all was gonna get to me. $10 million.
The Hill Dogs on the dollar bills.
Yeah, they were Hillary Clinton's.
Yeah.
Boy, in a universe where Hillary Clinton is on the dollar bill and Trump's still doing real estate.
Yeah. I mean, there's
sure
still time.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, interesting projection there.
Yeah.
It really, for me, this is all about Randy Quaid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just hated everything about it. I don't understand, because like the other robots that you mentioned, Mom, the shaved clean, big bulky muscly robot guys are intimidating, and maybe those are newer models. I guess I don't know. It's 2080, and he's a 63. Maybe they age. I don't know, but like, why would a robot age? He looks older. He's tall. That's, you know, I don't know if I ran into Randy Quaid at a gas station and I'd like walk the other way because I'm scared of him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And his character just sucks.
Yeah.
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 Those big teeth.
Yeah.
Jeff he has the crazed Jeff Bezos smile. It just bothered me the whole time.
All right. Moving on, we've got one more clip. This is the end of test number 6, the worst acting. This one's called Lazy.
Hey, listen to that. That's Connecticut. That's Connecticut. Listen out clear.
What's this?
Huh? Oh, no, don't do that. Stop. Don't do that. It's a cryogenic chihuahua.
It's a real dog.
Oh, yeah, it's very delicate. You know it's illegal to bring pets up here. But I got a friend back in Juarez who knows how to freeze dry these things. Look at that. It's a girl. You pop that little bitch in the particle wave for 2 minutes under frost, she'll be running all around the room. I used to get $5 a pop for these things. So where'd you do all your singing back Earth?
Weddings, bar mitzvahs, reincarnation rituals, usual gigs.
Mm.
I hit a rut, so I sent my tape up to this club I heard about up here. Figured, what the hell? They sent me a one-way ticket. When I got here, the place had been sold.
I checked the water tanks. We have enough to stay here for months.
Oh, what about food?
Plenty.
Let's have a dinner party. Let's change the mood in this place, okay? All right.
Seems a little... Does he get angry?
Oh, no. He has a happiness chip I had installed. That's why he is always like, blah, 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 blah. Bombs and
Does
shit.
he mind
going.
when you make fun of him?
No, the happiness chip. I wish I could have a happiness chip put in my ass so I'd be happy all the time.
I just heard in that clip for the first time that she said reincarnation rituals.
Yes, she did. I was going to ask, what do you think that is?
I don't know. I just heard that for the first time, so I haven't processed it.
Yeah, we'll trauma bond over it in a week or two.
I know that was kind of a lengthy clip, but I had to include the microwave chihuahua.
Yeah.
Had to. I felt like, if it was a minute and 20 instead of a minute long clip and I can include it.
Yeah.
What's that? He turns it upside down. It's a girl. He notices it's got female parts. That's really funny, right? Like,
yeah.
Wow. That's hilarious. And then it's running around the room, rah, 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 and she's doing reincarnation rituals. Then he makes the robot mad, but it's okay because he's got a happiness chip. I'd love to have a happiness chip. If somebody just stick a happiness chip up my ass, I'd be really happy. And I'd be happy all the time. And I just felt like this is the laziest, most idiotic writing I've seen since Cats. And it's been a while since we've done that. So I'm just blown away by this straight script, I guess. Yeah. But I want to say, though, that it's not improv from Eddie Murphy if he's got a cryogenic chihuahua and they put in the graphics to increase the boob size and stuff. These feel like lines he might be improving, but they're clearly not unless he's rewriting the script, and that's not improv.
And it's probably improv in the same sense, like a weatherman pointing to the screen. Like they have like what's scripted, what they're gonna say, but like they kind of just play off what's happening on the screen.
Well, part of it, but I think it was his script that was played straight compared to, and he really did, in my opinion, play the whole dog thing as straight as could be, except for the whole barking, running around thing. That sounded like it was ad-libbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might have been. It's hard to know. It's kind of like when you're defrosting something and it's still frozen in the center. Like it's hard to tell if the outside's like usable yet.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm trying to say. Let's throw it to fact or no fact.
My anaconda.
My bad.
My anaconda.
The worst movie ever made presents Fact or No Fact. I mean, I've got a hot streak going.
You do?
of one. So
let's see if I can beat it.
This week's Fact or No Fact is entitled Pluto Trash for the obvious reasons.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a theme to this Fact or No Fact, which you will pick up in after two of my possible facts.
Okay.
So here we go. First one. Alec Baldwin was uncredited because the footage he was in was originally for a different film. Okay, second one. Alec Baldwin was uncredited because he was asked to be. He hated the movie. Okay, third one. Alec Baldwin was uncredited because he was actually unpaid. He did this movie as a favor. Fourth one. Alec Baldwin was uncredited because the studio didn't want to draw attention to him as a star when his role is basically a cameo. And lastly, Alec Baldwin was uncredited because he wanted his appearance to be a surprise to the audience.
Oh, like so the movie Seven, where they couldn't put
Yeah,
Kevin Spacey
like
in.
that.
Right.
It's
right.
exactly like Seven.
It's just like Seven.
It's the same movie, if you ask me.
I'm seeing double. 4 Alec Baldwins.
What's in the robot?
I'm just gonna shoot from the hip and say number 4 because that's smart, and there's big enough egos where Murphy might be like, "Hey, man, like Baldwin's also super famous, and this is my movie." So I could see the studio not wanting to draw away from Eddie Murphy, who's the title, like the titular character. So I'm gonna go number 4.
I'm leaning between 2 and 3. That is, Baldwin hated the movie, so he didn't want to be credited. And Baldwin was unpaid because he was doing a favor. I think he hated the movie. I just don't know if that's his reason.
Yeah. This is tough.
I'm going to say that Baldwin was... I'm going to say that he was unpaid because he was doing a favor.
Was that a chihuahua?
Yeah. I was running around the room if you didn't notice.
Yeah.
Okay. So this movie had so few facts that I couldn't even take any facts that existed and like twist them. There were so few. So few facts.
It's like they didn't want to archive it or something.
It's almost like this movie, no one wanted to even talk about it after it was over. So I got my 4 lies from, well, 3 of them from a website that said reasons actors would not be in the credits.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah, they were all believable. So.
The one I made up completely is the footage was originally for a different film. I made that one up completely.
Okay.
But the other 3 were he did it as a favor, didn't want to draw attention, and wanted to be a surprise. He actually asked for it not to be in the credits because he hated the movie so much.
Wow!
But Chris, you were so close. I was pulling for you.
But he's still there. So
he's not in the credits though.
No, but like if you watch the movie and you know who,
you can't miss it.
That's definitely Alec Baldwin.
Yeah. I honestly, for the first like couple frames he was in, I'm like, is that Alec Baldwin? And I'm like, no, it can't be Alec.
I had
Baldwin.
the same thought.
It's got to be one of his. I thought it was one of his shitty brothers, and I'm like, no, it's actually him.
When I first moved down here and worked at a cafe, I served one of his shitty brothers at the cafe.
Which you remember?
He was producing like a horror film. It wasn't the Biodome one.
It
wasn't Bill.
Baldwin?
Yeah, I think it was like Billy or Danny or
Billy, Steven.
But it was funny.
Steven's the best.
So we have to collect the receipts and bring them to the bank when we're done at the end of the day for like our cash drop and stuff. And like, he looked like a Baldwin, but like I didn't want to like blow his spot up. And I was like, so can I get a name for the order? And like he's like Baldwin. I'm like, okay. And then people behind me are like noticing it, and he signs the receipt, and he's still within earshot. I'm like, what are you gonna do with that receipt? I'm like, I don't know, probably give it to accounting. And that was that.
That's how you know that he's not famous but wants to be, because he used his real name.
He dropped the promo card for the movie he was producing in the tip jar. But to his credit, he left us a big charge tip.
All right.
Okay.
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 All right.
Vindicated.
Good on. Yep, vindicated. I'm not laughing at that anymore, but still. Kind of.
Yeah.
All right. Let's do this beefy catch-all.
We're only
be asking you to pick up what we're throwing down because you're not catching it in the first place. Welcome to the catch-all.
As you hedged your 0% guess with the Rotten Tomatoes earlier, I hedged my Baldwin bet by saying that I bet he hated the movie, and I really wish that I just went with it.
I thought you had it. I was like, good one win 1 week, one win the next week.
I knew he hated it. All right.
Oh.
Funny enough, the first thing I wrote was, what a huge cast for such a shitty movie.
Yeah.
Big time. Yeah.
That's what made me think there's something contractual where it's like it's a 3-movie deal, 2 are great, but like you gotta like kind of like ride the wave on the third one because we have the assets or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah.
Well, one person that I'm going to mention now, because I don't mention them later in the catch-all, so don't say any names, is the guy who is always a stickler, like attorney or part of the presidential cabinet. Who's got like a narrow feature, tall guy, white guy with white hair. He's the father in Blank Check. He's one of the cabinet members in Independence Day. He's just always a douche. He's the one that wants to he wants to nuke the aliens.
He's like a non-albino Anderson Cooper.
Exactly.
Yeah. He was in a lot of stuff. Yeah.
I don't know his name, but he's in a lot of shit, and
I forget.
I guess he has a hateable face. I don't know. But hey, he made a living off of that hateable face, so I wish mine was a little bit.
Yeah.
Just wanted to mention they wrote Little America 2080 on the moon. That's where we are. Not the casino town. I wasn't sure if we were still in Little America when we went to, what was it called? Moon
Beach?
Moon Beach.
Yeah.
Moon Beach. Thank you. Yeah. Are we still in Little America on Moon Beach? I don't know.
They weren't clear. I thought I saw Little America as being like what a Chinatown would be in New York City. Like it's just a small few blocks, maybe like that are like the America town in a much larger metropolis setting.
Yeah, sure. Okay. The outrageously dirty bathroom and kitchen at the place that becomes Pluto's club was, I think, supposed to be funny as well, and I just didn't find it to be funny at all.
Yeah.
It was just gross.
Yeah, just stupid. I have no job for you, says Pluto to Dina.
Yeah.
And then she walks away all sad, and then he's like, actually, I have 6 nights a week, and you're going to work multiple hours.
Yeah.
Is he firing somebody, or was he just being a total asshole in the beginning?
Oh, his business is a cash cow. He's giving away free drinks to bachelor parties randomly. Yeah. He's got tons of money.
He turned down 10 million, and also, I mean, if you're talking about when they were in front of like the simulation machine, and he was saying like stuff about her ass, he turned her down, and then he saw her walking away.
I was just thinking
I need that to come back.
I was just thinking that I didn't want to be bad taste.
So
I did
he's
it.
like,
I'm in bad
hey,
taste.
She's a hottie. If I can just offer her money to work on her ass in a plastic surgery place, maybe I can make her a side piece.
Yeah.
That's where you're going with that, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna put assy side gigs.
Nice. Okay. Cypher in the Matrix worked, but generally Pantaleano doesn't work as a bad guy.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Fisher Stevens in Hackers.
Come on.
Come on. Think about it. And on that note, Randy Quaid does not work as a robot. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work.
I just kept thinking shitter's full like the whole time.
The whole Christmas Vacation.
The only role that he's been in that like that in Kingpin.
Kingpin was my other.
Yeah,
Kingpin was good.
I fucking love
enjoyed him in Kingpin.
Boss.
Yeah.
Okay, Bob. I really thought that this was going to be your worst production. Extremely uninventive.
Yeah.
The laser guns from the future are just guns that are lasers. The robots are just people, but they've got like bolts in their suits.
Yeah.
Their computers work off of America Online, for fuck's sake. and they're using regular telephones. There's nothing future about this.
Yeah, not even like to piggyback off you, Chris. Suffer from the same problem Demolition Man had too.
Yeah,
they're in the very not so distant future, and like Tony's Spumoni or whatever, Jay Moore's character is like. They're saying like he's so inventive and he's the best. It's like you guys have television screens everywhere. You have archival footage of things. You're saying like you're so far removed from like 100 years ago. You don't know who the fuck Frank Sinatra or like Paul Anka are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob, I completely agree with your point. I had to collect myself though, because I think you just mentioned Hey Arnold. Passively,
Dino Spumoni. Yeah,
and I cannot listen to you talk about Hey Arnold ever again in my life. I get frustrated every time that you mention Hey Arnold. So yes, I completely agree. I guess we have to fill Bob in because he doesn't know why I'm saying all this.
No.
So Rob and I worked together for years, and
about this until just now.
I know, and I thought about not even bring this up, but I'm so frustrated that I have to. So Rob has this way of like stretching. I don't know if you still do this, but the
irritating
podcast,
the shit out of people with the same joke that's been beaten into the ground for years, and then continuing.
Right, you know how like a joke starts off funny, and then it's not funny if you repeat it too much. But if you repeat it enough, eventually it becomes funny again because it's so annoying that it's funny. Okay, Rob did this to me with Hey Arnold, the show, the kids show, the cartoon.
Yeah.
He would relate anything he could possibly think of, the way we do with South Park. There's your bingo card. Go ahead. To Hey Arnold at work. And he'd be like, hey, you remember the episode of Hey Arnold where? And then he would just, and he would do it every single day, multiple times.
With with encyclopedic callback to it. So like someone would come in and like they'd be running late because like someone cut them off. I'm like, oh my god, that reminds me of the episode of Hey Arnold when, and then
I'd just be like, stop mentioning Hey Arnold.
This went on for about a year and a half.
Yeah. If you're in the YouTube audience, I apologize for my camera. All right. Yes, but Dino Spumoni is a Hey Arnold reference, so fuck you, Rob. The hotel concierge just saying room 3D's passcode out loud in the hotel lobby.
Yeah.
457.
Yeah.
So anybody within earshot can just get into your room.
Yeah.
And this is where I would have gone on with the 3D Pluto Nash 3D. Is that coincidence? But Rob ruined that too.
My bad. Whoops.
There's no TV in the hotel room, and Pluto Nash just leaves. She doesn't have a book or anything. She's got a robot who's powering up to stare at for those presumably a couple hours while he goes play pool with Roland.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of shitty.
Yeah.
Roland, by the way, Peter Boyle's character, flipping on Nash would have been pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, if Pluto Nash had to kill Peter Boyle, Roland, because Roland was going to take some money or something, but they wanted to play Roland like the guy that you find to be endearing that they kill in the elevator. So it's a deeply depressing moment of the movie, right?
Yeah,
right.
Didn't really work, but fine.
No.
While we're on the subject of people in this wide-ranging cast, what a waste of Pam Grier.
Oh, totally.
Oh, yeah.
I love Pam Grier. Jackie Brown's awesome.
She had to have done that as a favor for Eddie Murphy. I can't imagine why else she would sign on for that.
I don't know, but like, yeah, she's only in a very short cameo where she's Eddie Murphy's mother, and of course they have Rosario Dawson say, "Wow, you don't look your age," by saying you could have been her sister, which is lame and seemed like the only real reason they had her there was for that joke that also doesn't land because none of the jokes in this movie do.
Nope.
And trivia, she's actually only 12 years older than Eddie Murphy.
Wow. So
Yeah.
she couldn't. I mean, I guess technically she could, but I don't want to get into that.
But not really. Yeah.
John Cleese. Why? Why John Cleese? Also, if you can't tell who's in the car at first when they get in, it's like, "Oh, Mr. Smith, you're in my car, and I'm going to drive you around." Then he can't see them. Then why is he able to, talk about what they're doing in the car later?
Yeah, that's a very good point.
A little too much.
A night lasts for 2 weeks on the moon.
Is that like a scientific
I
fact?
kind of wanted. I kind of wanted to look that up, but I didn't.
How long? How long? 14 days.
There it is.
Because one rotation of the moon lasts 28 days on Earth. The lunar night, which is when the surface of the moon is not exposed to the sun, lasts about 14 days. They actually got that right.
Yeah, well, I hadn't finished my thought yet. I was about to give them credit for that.
Oh. Well, thanks.
No,
Google.
I wasn't. I absolutely was not. I did not think that was true. God damn it.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Adventures of Pluto Nash. You got that one over on me.
Yeah.
The car hovers way more than 14 inches, which we heard in the dialogue is one of the features. But they're going through the ravines, the Rocky Mountain moon cavernous ravines or whatever, and they're hovering at times 3 feet above the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what's funny, Chris? Just real quickly. Armageddon came out around the same time, and they were also stranded on like a crater. And like, just compare the two movies. They both are bad movies, but like, just like how it looked, and it's just kind of funny to compare.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
I'd rather watch Armageddon 10 times over before I watch Pluto
Same.
Nash.
Yep.
Which, by the way, if you didn't know, was our first ever actual episode.
Yeah.
WCW was upside down. Holy shit.
Wow.
I couldn't believe that kind of, like, what a reveal. Wow. Man. We already said it, but Alec Baldwin is in this movie as well. But you know what? He makes some bad choices.
Yeah. I'm just gonna.
He does.
Not
Rob
as many.
is trying not to mention, actually pulling the stunt gun trigger as a bad choice.
I think honestly, I think Eddie Murphy's made more bad choices.
No, he has.
Yeah.
Well, we could debate until the cows come home what you think about The Departed. I personally like it. I very much enjoy it. Some people say it's a very flawed movie.
I saw it twice.
I like it.
Yeah.
I love it. I think it's super fun. I understand the criticisms, but he is also in Fun with Dick and Jane.
Yeah.
So there's a knock against him. I'm sure I can, if I sat here for a few minutes, which I won't do, I can think of another. Okay, I already said that it doesn't age well, that they're using Americana. When characters in movies are watching movies, I want to get your take on this, guys. Genuinely. When characters in movies are watching movies, they're almost always in black and white. The movie that they're watching.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Except in Hocus Pocus.
Right.
It's gotta have something to do with the rights or something. Like, are they watching old timey?
That's public domain.
Yeah, public domain, or like they're watching like Leave It to Beaver because like the copyright expired or something. Like some shit like that.
I think that's part of it. I think it's characterization is what I think it is. They're supposed to look cultured.
Nah, that's a good point.
They're watching something old. I think it's a double reason, though. I think Rob's also correct.
I think also that watching a colored TV screen in a colored TV movie, if you make it black and white, the contrast might make the movie you're watching pop off more too.
That's a good just for cinematography. Then you think?
Yeah. Right. Just having a moving black and white in the middle of your
room full of color. Yeah. That makes sense.
I agree.
Okay, just wanted to know what you guys thought, because Aaron and I have always mentioned that. Like, watch the next movie you see where a character is watching a movie, it's black and white. Gravity has no effect on Bruno until it does.
Yeah.
Yep.
James tries to give them up. James is John Cleese's car character.
Mm-hmm.
He's pleading desperately to catch the criminals that stole the car. And you know what? Honestly, James didn't know that they were actually good guys. He had no reason to. So I don't blame him. But now it's okay for him to be abandoned in the moon dust.
But why when they were making their getaway, did John Cleese go, "Oh, Bruno"? Did you remember that?
I don't know.
It was so fucking weird. like suddenly he was part of the crew, but then he wasn't.
Yeah, but then he
Yeah.
wasn't because he tried to sell him out.
Yeah.
But they only did that so you didn't feel bad when he was left in, abandoned.
I guess.
Luis Guzman too. Come on,
I know.
you have to try to ruin everyone's career here.
Yeah.
Have you guys seen Oz? I think I've asked this a number of times, and it's always
It's a short list show. Just I try to avoid full frontal male nudity as much as possible. So I haven't watched it.
Even on himself. No mirrors in the bathroom.
No mirrors. No.
Yeah.
This is the most I look at myself in a given week when we're doing.
Honestly, me too.
That's fair. I mean, I don't love to do it either. I get it. Pluto and company ought to be happier about being rescued, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was hardly a thank you.
They tried to make up for it by giving him free whatever at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are disguises? they go into the casino later?
Like wearing a pimp hat and
Yeah,
it reminded me of Bob, you're gonna like this, I think. It reminded me of when they put the Hawaiian shirt and like straw hat on Arnold when they're going to Mars in Total Recall. It's like they're looking for the 6'4", 300-pound all muscle fugitive because he's a 6'4" all muscle guy in a Hawaiian shirt who also is trying to get to Mars. They don't know it's him.
It also reminds me of another Arnold when him and Gerald were dressed as fruits downtown and they accidentally had a drug deal when they're supposed to be at the school play.
Yeah, right. Obviously. I hate you so much.
Thanks for reminding me about that. I'm going to start bringing that back.
Wow. I hate myself more than I hate you. All right. Cool. Anything else on that before I move to the next one? I've got a few more.
No.
Okay, Bob, I did a worst production title joke here for this one. The Slut Machine.
Well, that's a good one.
Thanks. Yeah, the one that's following Randy Quaid around because she's trying to get him to play her. Pulley. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
That's right.
What do you call that? She wants him to crank her so bad. She's following around the casino. That's harassment, you know?
Yeah.
Especially if she doesn't know that he's a robot as well. Maybe she does. I don't know.
Yeah. Synergy.
They did put a very convincing Kingpin style blonde Amish wig on him. So
yeah. I gotta watch that movie now. That's a fucking great movie.
Yeah, I can't anymore. I've seen it like 6 times. I really love that movie.
Yeah.
But it's one that nobody talks about, though. It's Woody Harrelson, and he's just so charming.
And that lady in the rearview mirror is always doing that thing on it.
Yeah.
Well, that's Farrelly Brothers. Everything they've made has been so good and underrated.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. Hey, Rob, you said this already, but why doesn't anybody remember Sinatra?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, has it been that long?
No.
They just walk into Tony's green room.
Yeah. I've played local gigs where there's a green room and people couldn't get in. And like I'm a nobody. Yeah.
You shouldn't be allowed to just walk in where the performers are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you don't know what the person who is walking through that hallway is intending to do when they open the door.
Yep.
The club music, okay, so it's not along the lines of the extremely uninventive technology, but the club music also hasn't gone past the early 2000s either. It's like TLC-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Destiny Child type.
That's tough, though, you know, because if you can't predict music trends. You know, like I want to fault them as much as I can, but like they gotta do what's charting, I guess, right?
If it looks like a duck, if it quacks, it's got webbed feet, it's got feathers.
No.
Yeah, maybe the music's not bad. I don't know.
No, it's bad. It's definitely bad.
Oh, well, it's bad. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I almost put it in worst dialogue. It was one of the things that I was talking about. But Tony's elaborate plan for Pluto Nash to like get a running start and jump into the elevator shaft and grab the not hot wires, swing down, then wait for an hour and a half for the elevator to come up to give other Pluto Nash his dinner, and then he can jump down and kill the two robots and then have whatever his name is alone. Was almost funny, so I didn't include it.
Bringing it back to dystopian Stallone films.
Okay.
It's a Judge Dredd thing, where it's like the flames are gonna come in 30
Yes.
second
Yeah, it did have that vibe.
Yeah, a little bit.
But
I didn't find it even close to funny, in my opinion.
it wasn't funny, but I thought it was maybe their best attempt. Like when Eddie Murphy was like, you want me to swing on hot wires? And like Tony was like, yeah, what hot wires are hot? Like obviously there are hot wires right there.
Yeah.
And he's like, that one. And he's like, I just grab a wire that's not hot. I was like, all right, that's like that's almost there. I'm almost laughing. I'm not.
If it was in a different setting and not that.
Yeah.
It's similar back and forths have been funny in different applications. And
Like I think the rhythms were there. I think the delivery was just poor.
The beats,
Well, it begs the question, Rob. I forget which movie this was that you were talking about, but it was like, if it's just the two of them, and he knows Tony Francis's background, why is he still talking with an Italian accent like he's Frank Sinatra still? You know, like,
Anecdotally, I think they fucked up. Just
you think he wasn't? It would have been funnier if he was not.
But when I was a kid, my brother tried talking with a Southern accent for like a month straight, and he couldn't snap out of it for like another month.
That's it. If just like when you move to a foreign country, like, you might pick up an accent.
All right, that's fair. I might have said this on the podcast before, but if I go down and see my cousins in North Carolina, I know that I start to have like some kind of drawl, just because it helps me feel at home when I'm there. You know, it's speaking of The Departed, it's Leo's second character who lives in Boston and Connecticut. You know, I don't live there enough. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying when I'm on my way back to Connecticut, I lose the accent the more states north I go. By the time I'm back in Connecticut, I'm like, I sound like me again, and it's because I've noticed that I'm not around people who are speaking the way that I'm pretending that I speak all the time.
You know what I've learned though? Y'all is a very useful word. It's just so fucking practical, and I use it quite a bit in like my day-to-day interactions when I'm like, in Tennessee. If you can go further south, but like y'all is just a good. It's good contraction.
It is
it's a good contraction.
You know who picked it up is all the hip hoppers, bro.
Yeah, they did.
That's true.
They picked that up too because it is nice. It must be practical.
Yeah.
I guess we're just stubborn up in the north.
Yeah.
Did you guys want to mention anything?
No.
No.
All right. I know. I elaborate. Rob's alternate ending.
Or you can do this, or you can do that, or you can do this, or you can do that, or you can do this, or you can do that. Just pick one.
Clone-based guy-on robot threesome. That's
All right, but that would that be like an Android on Apple on Android situation where you need like two different adapters? Just
you
to
need like
get
a lightning to USB-C to conventional
to
USB
UK wall outlet. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Bad credit names. Bad credit names.
Bad credit names. Bad credit names. Bad credit names.
Yeah.
All right. I just don't care anymore. I've got sick.
Yeah, this movie fucked me up.
Serge Hage.
Okay.
Philip Saucy.
Ooh.
Yum.
Gary Elmdorf.
Okay.
All right, it gets good now. Jonathan Wank.
Nice.
All right, this one is not funny at first, but just think about it for half a second and you'll get it.
Okay.
Richard Little.
Oh, that's a good one.
Dick Little, yeah.
And Fedorov Colon.
That's a good choice for number one.
Yeah.
He's the second, by the way.
Oh, he's second. Okay.
Yeah. All right, let's compare the movies.
Okay.
Nothing compares. Nothing.
So Cats.
and
Cats is
Pluto
the worst.
Nash.
Done.
Yeah, we probably could. All right. Although Pluto Nash came in with a hefty score of negative 54.4 and worse, it was trounced by a negative 67.6 and worse because Cats is that bad.
Yeah.
Also, Bob, valiant effort with your 4-star pitch in limerick form, but I'm afraid I defeated you with my 4.25 star pitch last week on Cats.
Okay.
Cats is worse.
Because my pitch was terrible, but it worked. Who had worse dialogue?
I
Pluto
honestly
was
think
tough because Cats
Pluto.
didn't have any.
Yeah, Pluto,
Yeah,
exactly.
You can't fault the musical because like you're working in song, so Pluto definitely.
Unless you want to count the song, which I hated, but
yeah,
it was hard to pay attention to the dialogue when you have sexy cats dancing around.
Yeah, CGI butthole.
Yeah, speaking of CGI, too much CGI versus straight script for Pluto Nash. I'm going too much CGI.
That's the thing, because
I think it tanked the movie within the first 2 minutes.
it was visually jarring and it was uncomfortable, and I was deeply disturbed by it. But like, also, I can't say for certain that Pluto Nash would have been better with a funnier script. So
no, you can't.
But I'm not, I don't know if Cats the musical in all practical effects, practical costumes would have been better than in all CGI. I feel like it's still shitty.
yeah, so Cats is.
So I feel like it's a wash, but we can't have a wash.
I was going to offer the wash.
I'm happy with a wash on that.
All right,
'cause
let's wash.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to skip offensive so we can play the game. Acting, what's worse?
Nash.
Agreed.
Once again, like if you're just performing the songs to the choreography, like if you're killing it,
Yeah.
You're only as good as your source material. So if you're killing it and the source material sucks, you know.
That's fair.
Yeah, but like whereas Nash, like they could have, like if that was him improvising, then like that was fucking awful.
And Randy Quaid lost it for the whole movie.
Yep.
He was the worst.
Okay, well that's interesting you say that because I wanted a demerit since we're at 2-2 and a wash.
Mm-hmm.
Should we go with Randy Quaid lost it as our demerit?
Yeah.
Okay. Randy Quaid lost it. That's up against Source Divergence was awful in Cats.
Yes.
What wins? Did Randy Quaid lose it again, or?
So it's Randy Quaid losing it versus deviating from the source material.
Yeah, but when they did, it was awful. Like all the shitty like cat ball jokes and the cat lady and cat.
I'll give it to
furballs.
Cats. I'll give it to Cats.
It's fuck Cats. Gun to head, I would rather watch Pluto Nash.
All right. Well, this is gonna be an interesting most offensive because we're tied at the moment.
All right.
Okay.
No, we're not. We're not tied. That's a lie. This could tie it though, which makes it interesting.
All right.
All right. Here we go. Starting with Cats, the defending champion. What's worse? Sexy cats or sexy robots?
Shit.
Fuck.
I feel less shame for thinking a robot is sexy because it's not a human being or an animal.
Yeah.
There's not a big furry equivalent though in the robot world, is there?
No, but if you fuck a robot and they're not sentient, they're programmed. I feel like it's morally better to have sex with a robot. But these cats are also humanoid.
But the humanoid cat could consent.
It's still bestiality.
Yeah, I think it's weirder fucking a cat. Like, there's more than one way to fuck a cat. And I think, so I'm gonna say bestiality is worse.
Bob.
I think I was leaning that way to begin with, so yes.
Okay, well, I'm gonna agree. Buster for chugging 3 a.m. dogs.
Yeah.
Or companion cloning.
Companion cloning.
If we're going with offensive, it'd be companion cloning, and not just
Yeah.
for the minigame.
So that's a tie right there. We got a tiebreaker,
Okay.
right?
Tiebreaker, so we go backwards. We're going to start with Pluto Nash.
All right.
Bruno's battery baton.
Okay.
Or eating the indentured insects.
Fuck.
Oh no, with offensive. Shit.
I feel like if I didn't write insects, it would be obvious.
Right, but they're insects.
Yeah, that's part of life.
But they're sentient.
Just
But like having like a lightning rod charger penis is like
that they basically showed like full frontal on Bruno.
Yeah.
Randy Quaid showed his what you would assume would be impressive given his size.
Yeah.
And it was a 110 volt, and I was not impressed.
I guess Bruno.
Is that offensive though?
It's not offensive. It's just it's offensively like
it was offensive.
It offends my sensibilities because they're trying to be funny with like a dick joke, and I didn't think it landed. But like I don't think it's
that's
like
true.
It wasn't exactly electric.
I
agree.
want cats to lose. So
That's the thing. We have to almost make this about the tiebreak. Like if
you guys have the power, there's 3 votes here, but I'm only one man.
You
guys agree you can swing a cat's
I
leg.
guess in the cat's world, the insects are aware, and they are captive, and they know they're going to be led to certain deaths, and that's kind of fucked up. So I
they
guess
have marching orders. They're part of the musicals. They're part of the act, and we're eating them.
And they had human faces, so there you go.
Yeah, cats. Fuck cats. Done.
Cats.
Science.
Fuck cats. Offensive. Winner 4-2. Cats is the worst movie of the season. It feels right.
Yeah.
It feels right. Let's plug our shit and get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. The worst movie ever made.com. Email, social, streaming, YouTube.
Everything
Bobby,
you need.
Yeah. Bob, you have any last words?
This movie lost 17 times its revenue.
Wow!
Deservedly so. Wow.
Jesus H.
It sucks so bad, I guarantee I won't even get a copyright strike on this one. Because no one cares.
And people were like, what happened to Eddie Murphy's career?
Yeah.
My God.
Right.
He did this and then Haunted Mansion. That's the answer.
All right. See y'all next week.
Yeah.